So I just want to respond to Leo Fricker's comment. Basically, he was saying about the East Wall, and as we know in East Wall, about what's happening in East Wall at the moment. He was saying that people don't have a veto. Basically, people in the local area, if they want to put the right division set or asylum seeker hotel, they want to put asylum seekers in. They can do if they wish. The government. Basically, they might listen to you. They might just hear you out. Maybe the government, if they feel gracious enough to let you just speak. But basically, the people in the area, if you don't want it, well, you can't veto it. The government is still going to go ahead anyway, regardless of what you say. The people who pay them. Isn't it great? Isn't it great? And that's what Leo came out and said. And now, I will say this, people, they take rural village in some part of the county, some part of the country, County Offaly, take for example, a small village there, and say there's an old place there, there's about 20 rooms or so, let's take a give or take. And there's a small village, there's no facilities based, there's one shop, maybe a pub. That's about it, that's rural Ireland, very little else, no buses going through it. And they're just like, we'll throw 20 people down there, we're not going to tell the community, we're not going to tell them who they are and where they came from. Because obviously it's important to know where they come from, obviously, because obviously you don't want people that are unvetted, because again, majority of these people are unvetted and we have to be fair with ourselves. They tear up the documents at Dublin Airport so they don't have to show who they are. And it's the same. If we went into their country, take for example, they'd be demanding documents of us. We wouldn't be allowed to walk in unless they knew who we were, and what we were doing there. Let's be fair. And it's the same in Australia. You won't just walk into Australia. Again, it has to be some kind of security. It has to be some kind of security to defend the state. There has to be some kind of, it has to be, because again, Australia, as I say, I could wander off to Australia now in the morning and I wouldn't get in, because let's take, for example, if I had one thing wrong with my passport or in my documentation, to be sent home, be told to fuck off and go home. And that's the right thing, because if you don't comply to a country's laws, you're sent home, simple as that. And you can whinge about it there, they won't listen to you. Because you know the law, you obviously should look into where you're going for, but anyway. Obviously Leo is totally wrong. The people of the community, if the community overwhelmingly says, and the way they should do it is vote. The community should vote in their local communities, and obviously the local people in that area, if it's a committee, Tidy Towns committee or things like that, should vote. And to say, would they what at the work provision set in their town or things, so they should vote, because again, that's democracy. What Leo's suggesting here is people can maybe say what they think, but again, the government are going to overrule them, because we're the government. We overrule people and we don't like your opinion. And that's totally wrong. Again, there should be a vote in the community. Take, for example, it's a rural community, 300 people in Offaly, as I was saying. 300 people, them 300 people would say, would you cast a vote, saying yes or no, would you be in favour of it? Because again, it's the people in the community, it's their community. Their families lived there maybe for generations, since God knows when. Since the 1600s, the 1500s, their families literally been bread and buttered there for donkey's years, like centuries and centuries and centuries. And then people come in, that they don't know. Again, as I say, small communities in rural Ireland, they would know their neighbours, they would know everybody in the village. Because their family, they knew their son, they knew their daughters, they knew their fathers, they knew their mothers. Because they lived there all their life in their communities, and they knew who they were and they trust them. But these people coming in, obviously, you do feel a bit of nervousness, because you don't know who these people are. It's as simple as that. And it's not any racism or anything like that. It's just, you just don't know who they are. You just don't know where they come from, because again, half of these people, the one to be thrown up are coming from Albania and things like that. And we have to be fair. Why are they coming up from Albania? I know Albania is a poor enough country, but why are they coming now from Albania to Ireland? Are they not supposed to be from Ukraine? Are we not supposed to be taking in Ukrainians? It doesn't make sense, and particularly again, as I say, this case in East Wall, it'd be different now if it's women and children. But the media said it was women and children. But obviously, there's videos out there that prove wrong, that it is mainly young men. And you have to question why there's so many young men, more than women and children. Because what we're being told is loads of women and children, and it seems like it's, in that case there, it's loads of young men. And we have to be fair. Where are we going to give them work? Where are we going to give them, what are we going to do with them, basically? Because are we going to keep them in the centre all their life? And obviously they'll get up to different and things like that if we didn't give them something to do. Obviously, because the mind would obviously go mad sitting in the place all day. But yeah, Leo's wrong, obviously, because people have the right in the communities, and I do suggest they do this, that the people of the community vote to say if they want it, if they don't want it. Because again, at the end of the day, that's democracy. That's what democracy is all about. The will of the people come first. So if the people in that community, take for example, if it's in I just think, for example, it's in Castleblaney and County Man. I know that the provision set them up there. So say in Castleblaney, say there's about, I don't know the population off the top of my head, 1,600 I think it is, or something like that. 1,500, something like that. It's over 1,000 anyway. And the 1,000 people in that community go out and vote. And it's said here, you can vote yes or no. And if 70% of the people say yes, and the West say no, the 20% or whatever, 40%, then obviously it's passed, because that's democracy. The people of the community vote, and they say, we are not in favour of it. And then if they're not in favour, they're not in favour of it. As simple as that. The government can't pressurise somebody saying, no, you have to do it. We demand of you. You cannot give us a quota to say, they can't veto anything. You cannot, we're the government. We have the power to do what we want. That's not right, obviously, I'm sure. And again, I suggest that the government do take that on. Particularly, again, as I say, in East Ward, they could vote. The people of East Ward could vote to say yes or no. Because, again, that's true democracy. And the vast majority, if they came to rural Ireland particularly, and we're letting know Dublin, if the direct provision set down in rural Ireland, as I say, County Cavan, County Loughford, the majority of people that, if it's a small town, would be maybe 200 people in it. And they're going to put in about 700, not 700, that's a bit of a, well, in some cases they probably will. But say they're going to put 70. The people in that local town that has one little shop, maybe a pub. You'd be lucky if they had maybe a petrol station, possibly. You'd be lucky they had a local school with a few teachers. Again, they have to weigh all this. It's up to the community, in other words, to weigh it and to vote. And the government should respect their vote. That's the way I think they should do it. Because again, the community has to say. It's not the government. The government don't have to say. The government should not have to say. As Ronald Reagan once said, and I do remember this often. The government is the cow, right? The government is the cow. The people are the driver. The people tells the government where to drive. The government doesn't tell you to where to drive. The people tell you where to drive. And that's totally right. The people of the community, the people, the taxpayer, has every say in it. And Leo's saying now they can't veto, because I'm the government. I say what happens in this country, not the people of Ireland who voted me in. Like, that's more or less fucking Nazi Germany, let's be fair, in the Soviet Union. That you have no say, you have no rights. Whatever I say goes. Again, let's be fair, that's not democracy. That's not the will of the people. Of the local communities. Now, again, I just suggest to do that. But of course they can, Neil. Of course they can veto. The government are not power. The government have a mandate by the people. But the people are the power at the end of the day. People have the power. And the people have to say what happens in their community. And it's simple as that. Thank you.